All right, so I haven't take the final. So I do not know like what she's gonna put on the exam. However, as I'm looking at some of uh the formula sheet that she's gonna provide you on the exam, I saw that from the previous test, it's gonna be initial outlay, the cash flow, net cash flow. So expect the last exam to be on the test. Um, and also if you referring back to exam 2, then we have some variance, standard deviation, covariance, um, covariance, and variance. Um, so there's gonna be some in exam 2. And lastly, there's gonna be exam 1 stuff where you do a discounting to find the present value. Uh, all right, I saw the risk. There's gonna be an equation, the CAPM equation right here. Um, all right, we're gonna go ahead and try to solve from some problems. So first I'll choose the exam 1 uh problem. However, I will go directly into the solution just so when you guys do a review yourself, you want to look at the solution and I think at this point in time, you want to learn a pattern. Um, I think that will be my strategy as of like showing you guys uh for how we should approach this final. All right, so expect something that asks for effective yield. So this question 1 asks, what is effective yield if the loan charged an APR of 6% and payments are made monthly? So why effective yield? APR is the interest rate for the whole year. However, it's not effective yield. And this is the equation to find the effective yield. Let me write it for you guys. So keyword here, effective yield. So whenever on test, you see effective yield and APR, effective yield, APR, they are referring to this type of problem. And you have to, I think this is not provided on the test, kind of have to remember equation. So I effective, 1 second. All right. So it's I effective equal to 1 plus. All right. Right here, just kind of remember it's APR divide by how many period it's happened, and then raises to how many period it happened. After that, subtract by 1. At this point in time, I will not explain why you got this. However, would like you guys, whenever you see the problem that said finding effective yield, think of this problem, right? Uh, okay. So let try to solve together. Let's say 6%, right? So you're gonna put 6 divide by m. All right. Let's say right here, payments are made monthly, right? So when it's say monthly, you're gonna divide it by 12 because monthly in a year, that is 12 months in a year. So you divide by 12. Imme Okay. And then right here, you guys see that it's also referring to the same thing. So you're gonna raise it by the same number you write down there, right? And then you subtract by 1. And that you're gonna have effective yield. This is gonna be the interest rate you're gonna find. If this problem to tell you that payments payments are made quarterly, right? Let's say quarterly. And what do you think? Quarterly means 4, right? So you're gonna do 1 plus 0.06. What do you divide now? By 4, right? Because they're 4 period. So quarterly means 4. Monthly means 12. Uh, and raised by what? By the same thing, right? 4 minus 1. If it's say semi-annually, then you have to know divide by 2, raised by 2, minus 1, right? So watch out for that effective yield. Like that's the term you wanna. Yeah, I recommend you open this exam up, highlight this effective yield, highlight this equation, and just like learn that on the spot. All right. Do you have any questions in terms of this question
No,
right
it
here?
makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so our strategy here is try to like memorize like what kind of problem is asking us. All right, on to the next one. This one you have to learn how to put into your calculator. If you look onto your calculator, you're gonna see 5 button that is white, the 5 white button. First one gonna say N, the second one IY, third one PV, and then I think PMT, then lastly is the FV, right? Um, this kind of problem will use these 5 button right here. All right, I'm gonna show you kind of like reminder for folks that are still confusing on the first exam. All right, so let's read together. How much an analyst paying for 1,000, 12%. All right, you could see that 12%, right? Something that is about the percentage, it will go into the IY, right? So you're gonna note that down. Mature in 20 years. All right. 20 years probably will go to the end right here. So 20. If the appropriate required rate of return is 11%. All right. Okay. My apologize over here. You see that there's an 11% and 12%, right? How you guys see here, it's a coupon bond, right? Um, some reminder to you guys is whenever they talking about bond, there's gonna be 2 type of bonds, right? Zero coupon bond. Zero coupon bond means that uh there's no payment in between. There's no payment in between. It's just the last payment. However, if it's a coupon bond, right? If it's a coupon bond, then they're gonna have a payment in between. And how do you know how much is that payment? It's depend on the percent right here. What does it say? 12% coupon bond, right? So what it means is that 1,000, 12% of that 1,000, 12% of that 1,000 is the coupon payment. All right. What is 12% of 1,000? 1,000 multiplied by 0.12, right? So it's going to be 120 as a coupon payment for each payment. Okay. So now you know that this is the payment, right? So the trick here is the payment is not given to you. They usually give you the percentage of the coupon bond. So you have to know how to multiply the 12 with 1,000 to get a payment, right? And where do you put that payment? You're gonna put it here. 120, all right? 20 years, we already know that. This is 11%, right? 11% gonna go here. All right. paying for, okay. One important thing I want to tell you guys is this one, it doesn't say semi-annually, monthly, quarterly, right? So it's going to be automatically annually. Annually. And why does it important? It's important because if it's say, I will pretend, right? I will pretend. If it says semi-annually, then you have, there's something, these are the changes that you will make. All right, you remember this 120, right? 120 right here is the payment for the whole year. However, if it says semi-annually, so the payment is the first thing, is one of the things that is changing. You have to divide that by what? By 2, right? Okay, the next thing is the number of years. It is 20 years, right? It is 20 years. However, the payment is paid semi-annually, so you have to multiply it by 2. So it's going to be 40 payment period in total, even though it is 20 year, right? But you're going to receive 40 payment. So those are the first 2 things that gonna be different from the problem up here. What else? The IY, let me think. IY. Okay. So the IY, you also have to divide it by 2 because it's semi-annually. If it's was to say quarterly, then you have to divide by 4, right? However, I think on the test, she would most likely go with like annually, since it's the most like easiest thing possible. Okay. And then if you hit compute, let's say right here as how much it recommend, right? So it's asking for present value. So if you hit present value, it's gonna give you the price. It's gonna give you the amount. Okay, I will, if further down I saw any complicated problem that relate to this, I'll talk more about it. However, right now, just keep it as simple as this problem number 2 right here. All right, so on your calculator, like I said, you're gonna put 20 for the N letter, 11 for the IY, 120 for the payment. That's, I tell you guys how to find it already, right? 1,000 for the future value, the FV, and then you're gonna hit compute present value. And that's how you got 1079.63. Let me think. All right, any question for this problem?
No, I got it.
Okay. The only way that it could be more difficult is when it's starting to say semi-annually, right? Uh, However, right now, just keep in mind, this is what you want to know how to do. Right here, when it say coupon, percent coupon bond, anything that have the word coupon bond is referred to this type of problem, right? So just highlight coupon bond and then reviewed it. Okay. Let's see. All right. This type of question, whenever you see the perpetuity, and then you only see a payment and a percentage, most likely you just have to take the payment and divide by the percentage. This formula already given to you on the exam equation sheet. It is this one right here. So just note that, just highlight the perpetuity, highlight the 80 and the 12% right here. If it give you just those like keywords, this is what they're talking about. All right. So come to this problem. I would tell you guys to use the calculator to do this. Okay, so this is also you have to put into the calculator the using the white button, right? Let me, okay, what does it give you? It gives you, let's say, annual amount of 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, right? So you just gonna copy that across. Always from the beginning gonna be year 0, and year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. All right, you guys see that 8%, right? So the IY probably 8%. It doesn't say anything about semi-annually, so monthly, then you don't have to divide. You just like copy that 8% down, put it into the IY button. All right, first, you know that. So something I would do is I would draw out the line kind of like this, and then put the value on top of it. And then put the value on top of it. So you know that in year 1, there's gonna be 2,000. Then what is the present value of this 2,000, right? Okay. I want you guys to do this with me. Gonna put 2,000 as your future value, as the future value button. 2,000 future value. 8% as IY. How many years is it? 1, right? So 1 for the N. Hit compute present value. What you guys got? It's gonna be 1851.85, right? For this one only. How many things left you still have to find the present value of? This one, and this one, right? So just doing the same thing. Okay, now the 3,000 as future value. The only different thing is now the N. How many years is it away from today? 2 years, right? So for the N now it's gonna be 2. The interest is gonna be the same. And then you hit compute present value, right? You're gonna have the value. The same thing. 5,000. How do you do it? Find the future value gonna be 5,000. How many period? 3, right? Hit compute present value. Da da da. At the end, you guys agree with me that this is the present value. This is the present value. This is the present value. Then at the end, you have to add these together, right? You have to add these present value together to find the final present value. Like the sum, kind of like the sum of all of the present value of these 4 things. Okay. Do you have any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
Um,
So, mhm.
how come it's 1.08 instead of just 8?
1.08. Which one is it?
Oh, like on the solutions on like the other PowerPoint one?
Oh, okay. This one, this one is the mathy way.
Okay.
If you guys already confident with this type, then go with this. However, I just go to a simpler approach. Um, in I would go with the simpler approach in my view.
Okay.
However, if you guys confident with the math, the way, yeah, you can go with this method right here.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so exam one, usually everything is about like inputting into the white button, right? All right here, let's see. Save 100 every 6 months. All right, you guys see that? There's a trick, right? 6 months, then probably this is semi-annually, something semi-annually. I'm just thinking of, I have to read more, right? For the next 5 years. All right. So every 6 months, you're gonna receive this 100. So it means that you get a payment of 100 semi-annually for 5 years. All right, this is a good practice here. If her account earned 14% compounded semi-annually, yeah, so you guys see right here, it explicitly tell you semi-annually at 2. How much will be in her account in 5 years? All right, so what do you guys think? Whenever it's semi-annually, you have to kind of watch out for what stuff you have to be considered, right? So 5 years, but how many payment do you receive? You're gonna receive every 6 months, right? For 5 years. That means 5 multiplied by 2. So in total, you receive 10 payment. 10 payment for 5 years of what is this 100? It's gonna be a payment, right? It's gonna be PMT. That's what you're gonna put on there. All right. How about interest rate? Usually when they give you the interest rate, the IY, they're gonna give you in a year form. This is 14% is for a year, whole year. However, when it says semi-annually, you have to divide by 2. Okay, that is why right here you see 14 divided by 2. That's 7, right? And then you hit compute future value. If the problem was to say quarterly, all right, good practice here. How many do you put for the number n? You're gonna take the 5 years multiplied by 4, right? So it's gonna be 20 payments you're gonna receive in 5 years. How about the interest? You're gonna divide by 4, right? Um, Payment right here, it's already in terms of semi-annually. However, if it's say if you kind of remind of this problem about coupon right here, this coupon is for the whole year, right? The 12% is for the whole year. So 12% of 1,000 is 120. If the question were to say semi-annually, then you have to divide the 120 by 2. This one is already in terms of 6 months. So the payment is 100. Okay. I think the other practice is require blah blah blah. Let's see. Permit to pay per year with the first payment 3 years from today. Okay. So okay. So this type of problem is when it say the first payment 3 years from today. First payment is 3 years from today. Then that is a question that has some delay into it, right? I'm not. I think this one could be confusing, but I think it's a good practice for you to like start drawing out the line. Always label the first one is 0, right? What does it say? Um, the first payment 3 years from today. Okay, 3 years from today, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So the first payment gonna be in year 3. And what is the payment? Payment is 4,000 per year for 10 year, right? Okay, so it's starting from year 3 onward. The total is 10 year, right? So well, okay. One tricky part about this one is 4,000 per year for 10 year. However, the first payment is 3 years from today. So the 4,000, the first one is in year 3. So that is 1 year payment already. So it's gonna be year 4. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me see. So this is 1 already. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 more, right? So 12. This one is in total how many? 10 years. So you receive so from year 3 to year 12, that is the total of 10 payment of the 4,000, right? Why do I show you guys like this lengthy part right here? Is because you may think that at year 3 it's gonna pay you, but then you saw the question, let's say for 10 years, right? So you kind of think that, all right, it's gonna be like 13. So you're gonna add 3, add 10, it'll be 13. However, it's not, right? I'll show you up here that it actually is actually the last payment is gonna be in year 12. All right. Uh, let me think. Okay. All right. In this problem, I would recommend you guys, instead of break this into 2-part problem. The first part is you want to discount these payment to the present value using end mode. I would personally using end mode. If you use begin mode, you have to remember how to do it. But using end mode, so 2-part, right? First part. All right, let's talk about first part. First part, you're gonna put the PMT as 4,000. The PMT button, right? That's the payment. How many payment do you have? How many N is there? 10, right? For 10 years. Okay. The I, interest. Interest is given to us 12%. Okay. Then you have to hit compute. Compute. Compute present value. Then you hit compute present value. And that's gonna give you a number. A number, right? And where is that number belong to? It's gonna belong to year 2. Right? Why is it a 2-part process? 2-part process is because the second part, you have to discount this $sign back to the present value, right? And that should be easy, right? You're gonna hit future value, because now in this case, you treat this payment that you find as a future value. As a future value, and then you're discounting back how many period, how many years it away? 2 years, right? 2 years, putting the IY in there. IY in there at 12%, and then hit compute present value. Right? So that is the two-part process. Something to watch out is, remember, if you put the future value as a positive, remember to put well, okay. In this case, no worry. But remember in problem that you have to, like, let's say you have to find IY, the interest rate. They give you the present value, they give you the future value. Remember to put one as a negative and one as positive. Otherwise, you're gonna have an error. Okay. Yeah, so the trickiest part about, like, if it's say 3 years from today, then yeah, you have to know there's a two-part process to it. We'll repay loan quarterly. All right. Let's see. It's problem 7, borrow money to purchase RV. Will repay loan quarterly for next 8 years. How much will be her quarterly payment if she pay? Let me see. Okay, Justin borrow money to purchase RV for that much and will repay the loan quarterly over the next 8 years. How much will be her quarterly payment if she pay a nominal interest rate? Okay, so this 120,000 is the present value, right? You could put it negative signs and it is a purchase. And then what it asks you to find is, it asks you to find a PMT, right? Right here, say quarterly. When it say quarterly, then you have to remember that the interest rate, right? The IY, you have to divide by 4. So you see right here, the 8 divided by 4. And also, what else you have to divide by 4? How many years does it take to repay? 8 years, right? Well, in this case, you don't divide by 4, but 8 years, but it is a quarterly payment. So it means that you have to multiply 8 by 4, because that is the 32 payment in total you have to make, right? So you gotta put present value, interest, number, period, and hit compute payment. Yeah. So whenever you see these type of problem, it could be confusing, but try to, like, where is possible that I could put on the white buttons, right? Because the purchase price, property present value. If it's say quarterly, then I might be have to multiply something by 4 and divide something by 4. What does it add to find? How much will be her quarterly payment, right? So that is the PMT. So watch out for that. Let's see if her payment at the beginning of each quarter, how much will be her quarterly payments? For if you want to answer this problem, then I don't think it's gonna be on the test, but however, if it asks, just know that the payment that you made is from year 1, right? Let's say the payment is 5113 or 27. This should be easy to discounting back to year 0, right? So you're gonna set this as future value. You're gonna put in interest rate. You're gonna put n how many years? Well, in this case, you guys see that it's um you guys see that you have to use this IY, right? 8 divided by 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. So in a year, it's a quarterly, right? So it's 4 period. So that's a tricky part. Even though it is 1 year, but it's mean that 4 period. So and then after that, you're just gonna hit compute present value. All right, so far, what do you think? I think there's a lot to learn, but in terms of like, what do you think if after the recording of this one, do you think that if you go through again, you will be able to get something out of it?
Yeah, I do, but I think
Mm-hmm.
um like like for certain questions when I press compute like present value or something, it's a different answer than the solution
Mm,
like on my calculator, but I put everything correctly, but it's just like a different answer.
okay. Can you try to put in this one? Let
Yeah, like for this one, I got a different answer instead of like for part B though. Like for the part A, I got it correctly.
oh, okay. So let's try with me right here.
Yeah.
You're gonna put 5113.27 as future value.
How do I know if I have to put like a negative or positive? Maybe that's the issue, but I don't know.
Uh, well, mm,
Like, would you put a negative or positive for this one?
I would I would put a positive. I don't think the negative will be a problem though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just that if you put the payment as a negative, then you will have the PV as a positive value.
Okay.
Um, if you put a negative instead, well, if you put a positive instead in the payment, it's gonna be negative.
Okay.
Okay, let's try. Could put 15113.27
Mhm.
uh as a present value. Well, as a future value, right? Like I said,
Yeah.
future. Uh, 2 for the IY,
Yeah.
4 for the number of period, 4 for
Mm.
n, and then hit compute. What do you
Compute payment.
no, compute present value, right? Shouldn't be payment, right? Because uh it could be confusing, but for the sake of like you gotta answer, not just try
Mm.
compute present value.
Yeah, I got this. It just says 5,113. Like it didn't even change.
Okay, let me see.
Like I don't know if it's just my calculator or something.
Mm, no, let me see. 1, 2, 3.